your eyes.
Hello and welcome to the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. I'm Justin.
I'm Carl.
And I'm not Carl or Justin. I'm Peter.
That would make sense. How are we? How are we all? This is nice. Seems to be, well, it's been ages since we've done anything like this, particularly a live one on YouTube. Peter's got his health supplements, so that's a good start.
I'm down low on health supplements. I may need to have a break for health supplements. Probably not.
Well, okay. How are you, Carlos?
All good, friend. All good. Not too bad. Just looking forward to the start of the season now. Hence why we're here to talk.
Well, last time I spoke to you, last time we did this, you went, "Oh, I'm so glad it's the season's over. I'm
ready now. I'm ready now. I've done my break. There's bodies coming through the door. The birds are singing. The skies are blue, and Watford are probably still poo. I made that up right on the spot.
Well, no. Well, should we talk about what's happened since we last got together? We seem to have a new squad somehow, and we seem to have signed lots of players and done lots of things. We've all been to a friendly now, right? So we've all been to a friendly match.
We have.
We've seen the new kit, which I think we probably discussed enough. Are you getting used to it yet, Carlos?
Not with a sponsor, but I haven't bought it with a sponsor, so I'm just going to let it be. I'm looking forward to away kits and what they look like, because that might start this all over again.
Having seen what I think is going to be the away kit. Anyway, Peter, what do you think about the new season?
Oh, I've started ignoring the blue straight away. That's like all things with kits, I start to object to them straight away on principle. And then after a short while after, I kind of go, that'll do. That's all right. So, it's okay. Don't even mind it with the red. However, we played a game, and I think it was the game that was played at Potter's Bar, which some people say was an under-21s, and some people, I think, have suggested that it was a mixed squad. And it doesn't really matter, because the point I'm going to make was we had black shorts with it. Yes, that's right. Welcome back to the shallow end, everybody. It had black, and it looked absolutely excellent. I thought that looked really, really nice. Obviously, that was from behind, so I wasn't looking at the blue sponsor, but never mind. But no, that's all right. We'll talk about the games in a minute, I think, absolutely. But I think we would be remiss, would we not, if we didn't kind of deal with what must be the topic of the day, which is we have signed Luca.
How do you pronounce that man's surname? Yes, that is the topic of the day.
Well, no, that isn't the question. The question is how does Derek Payne pronounce that?
God.
He's going to have a nightmare next season.
He's going to have an absolute nightmare. He thought Check for Dad, so he was the pinnacle of his problems. Good luck, Del.
Yeah,
good luck.
May I also add that if you're a parent and you're taking your son or daughter into the shop to get that name printed on the back of the shirt, it will cost you an extra £70 in lettering.
Yes, it will. Oops. Yeah, because that's quite long. So what do we know about this gentleman, Luca?
Danish.
I'm going to say Luca. Danish? Yeah.
Dave Mark II.
Yes.
Would you like to have a look at his stats first of all? Because I was going to do an animation, but we got about 25 minutes that we're signing somebody. Are we? Oh, good, that's good. Let's get to have a look at Luca Kjerrumgaard's statistics. Now he is still very young, so it's kind of sort of important to remember that. As with all of the signings that we're making in attacking positions, we're not bringing in experience, which a lot of people would have liked. And I can understand why. Having somebody who is going to, you can put your money on that he's going to score 20 or 30 goals in the championship is good. This lad hasn't been playing in the championship. He's been playing in the Danish and for a period in the Norwegian division. So if you go back to 22-23, he had a couple of loan moves from his parent club, which was Odense OB or OB Odense. And he went to Stabæk in Norway. And he also went to, it's called Nürnberg is how you pronounce it. You'd never know that by how it's written. Yes, absolutely. And when he went to Nürnberg, who were in the Premier League or the top flight in Denmark, he played 13 games and didn't score any. When he went to Norway, he did okay, and he got like 13 goals out of about 20 odd games, which was fine. So he's done okay in terms of his involvement and stuff. However, 24-25 last year was really what his whole reputation has been built on. He's 6'4". He's got an adult frame. I mean, you know, he looks like a unit. He can play with his back to goal. It was something that they got him to work on because it wasn't something that immediately came naturally. Does that sound familiar to anybody when it comes to Danish strikers? Just saying. But he's absolutely worked on that. His positioning and just being in the right place is very, very good indeed. And he seems to be, you know, very much the real deal, who's sort of come of age literally this last season. 29 games, 29 goal involvements, made up with 22 goals and 7 assists. And then if you take a look at the minutes, which I've done there on the right-hand side, if you're watching this, if not, I will read it out. A goal involvement, so either an assist or a goal, every 83.76 minutes.
How much one per game, Peter?
That's very much so. And it's like, well, that's excellent. We can't be knocking that. So very happy that we've signed. I do have, however, this is Do Not Scratch Your Eyes, and you do come to us for exclusives, and I do have I have a concern. I do have a concern. First of all, you're thinking that my concern is the fact that he's here for an initial year on loan from Udinese, but we have an obligation to buy next season. You're thinking that might be the problem, but you're not. You're wrong. You're wrong. Do you know what my problem is?
Is it his signature?
This is his signature.
It's a hashtag, isn't it? It's a hashtag. Yeah. Really.
Apologies, I dropped the pencil on the piece of paper what I was trying to sign.
That is basically, that is a spider going through its final death throes, having fallen in an inkwell. That's what that is.
If I had a name that long, though, that would probably be my signature. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, if you could tell me which bit is Luca and which bit is,
well,
Kjerrumgaard.
I don't speak Danish, I'm afraid, so I couldn't tell you.
Fair enough. That's a very good answer. We're going to get into a little bit, though, about this initial year loan from Udinese and the fact that we have an obligation to buy. Because quite understandably, a lot of people have gone, Udinese, oh, bloody hell, here we go. However, been caught I've been digging into this. That's absolute cobblers. I'm basically going to be lifting and plagiarizing somebody else's work, but I'm going to tell you who it is because, hey, you know, you need to do that, surely. So, no, I've watched loads of video stuff on him, and he seems to be very, very good indeed. He's got pretty much two feet rather than just a kind of a single-footed player. Seen him strikes with both. He's 6'4". He is kind of putting it about. The question that everybody will ask, as I say, is championship experience. How will he get on? How will he go? That's going to be absolutely the question. But at least we're going to be having at least 3 forwards to choose from. Now we know Doumbia is, has done pretty well. I went to see him, and we'll talk a little bit about the game at Wimbledon. I thought he did very well against Wimbledon with his back to goal. I thought he was one of the on a not so interesting game. Maybe it was just hot. I don't know. I thought he looks like he's playing, knowing he's got 2 players coming through the door trying to get his position, which is a really, really positive thing. But of course, there are other things. So, what are your thoughts on our latest Viking person? Because we've been hit and miss with Danes and indeed Viking extract.
Alan Nielsen, I enjoyed when he was with us. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Alan Nielsen, really, really liked him.
Not Stefan Everson, no. That's an in-house.
Stefan Everson, I forgot about Stefan Everson. You completely made up a player, didn't you? Stefan Everson. Yeah, I mean, Rajovic was Rajovic, wasn't he? We complained that all he did was score goals, which seems like a very strange thing. Good luck to him in his new role in Poland. Hope he gets on well there. But no, I'm genuinely quite encouraged by the fact that we're having an active transfer window, because we're not used to that, or we haven't been used to that for what seems like, I don't know, 3-4 years. Oh, hello. We've got
That's all right. That's all right. That was just that was just me trying to multitask and failing badly.
He's just sent off his Uber Eats order for anyone.
That's it. Yeah. It'll be coming by the train that goes past you in a minute. Yeah. So
early in order to make sure I was here to do this rubbish. Fine show. Sorry.
Yeah. So we'll see, won't we? There's a couple of questions that are coming actually, which we might actually just. Well, yeah. I mean, I think this one for a start is Ashley Young coming in, and we've actually had that a couple of times. We've also had this one as well. Ashley Young is being linked. It's like someone sent a telegram here with full stops between everything. Back with a move to Watford this summer. What do we think about that, Carlos?
Can we just go back to the question there? Because Eugene has hit on a thing here, which is the fact that, in the old days, like 1940s, somebody would rush into a post office and say, I need to send a telegram. And everything it all said, I don't know, we're going to sell Rajovic, stop, to Legia Warsaw, stop, charge them far too much money, stop, and then watch him play, stop. I like that, Eugene. Good stuff.
Well done, Eugene.
Well done, Eugene. So a 40-year-old Ashley Young coming back, Carlos.
Yeah. We discussed it not too long ago on a recording. I would be surprised if he comes back. I think his experience would be brilliant for the club in and around. But I think Ashley Young is still probably thinking that he can play week in and week out. The Championship, as we all know, is a tough old league. Saturday, Tuesday. Will he be able to do that? I don't know. I'm hearing that he's still very fit. Pete mentioned his numbers last season playing for a Premier League side, which is impressive in itself. But for me, I think if a team that's just been promoted, for instance, came in and said, Ashley, do you fancy another season in the Premier League? You might fancy that. If he came back to us, it's just because that's where he started. I'm not against it, but my only issue is that I don't want it to be the Ashley Young show. And I still don't forgive him for celebrating against us.
Oh, yeah, you've got a real thing about that, haven't you?
Yeah, it was the way he did it, but look, water under the bridge. As soon as if he signs, I'll go, oh, Ashley, bless you. Thank you for coming home.
Yeah, I mean, I think this whole thing about, was it 3 seasons ago, where he was going to crawl from Milan or somewhere exotic.
That was the time to sign him. That was the time to get him then. If he was ever going to come back, that was it. Now, I don't know. Look, we mentioned it at the start of this. We wanted experience coming into this side. He's got bundles and bundles of that. So yes, big tick.
Too much, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah. But has he still got it in his locker in the Championship? That's the question. That's the only reason I say what we look at Kuchka when he signed for us in the Premier League after one game.
He was great for that game.
Oh, here we go. Best signing we've ever made. Two games later. Jesus Christ, what's this guy doing here? It's one of those, isn't it? So, I think if they can struck up a deal that doesn't cost us the earth in terms of wages and so forth, then yeah, maybe it will. But I'd be surprised. I think he might still be in a Premier League player next season. That's me talking nonsense because I have no idea where he's going to be, but I'm saying it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Well, I mean, what do you think, Peter? What kind of
we
role do you think?
We discussed this before, and I said, let's reframe the question. If we were replacing Tom Ince with Ashley Young, would you do it? And both of you turned 180 and went, yes. That's not a go at Tom Ince because I just happened to pluck him out of thin air. But here you've got one of those experienced players who is having to add something to the dressing room. Has he got the trophies, the experience, the know-how, the set-piece delivery anymore that Ashley Young still potentially has in his locker? Bearing in mind he was still delivering free kicks, playing left-back, I grant you, for Everton. And he was still delivering free kicks and corners on the money. If, in that case, I'd have him all day and twice on Sunday. I don't give a monkeys that he celebrated against us. He scored a goal. He's a professional footballer. Of course he's going to. And he was also probably about 37 at the time and was going through, I don't know, probably about the fifth year of being told it's his last ever in football. Well, he's proved that wrong. Yeah, no, I'd have a look. I have, however, and I don't know if anybody else has heard a reignition, if you will, of a rumour that went around last year, which involved the words Tom Ince and Turkey. Now, I haven't had it confirmed anywhere.
He's allergic to turkey?
No, I'm not talking about Christmas dinner. No. But you remember where there's teams with money in Turkey at this moment in time. With a lot of it. For example, Sancho said to Fenerbahce, "Oh well, I want 370 grand or something, or whatever it was, some ridiculous amount." And they went, "Okay," and then he was like, "Oh, I was giving you a figure I thought you'd never go for. Oh bugger, wish I'd gone for more." we know that Trabzonspor, when they came in for Hoot, were offering him, a good amount of cash. It might be somewhere for him to go. As I said about Ince, I just feel sorry that he is not getting the amount of time that I think a player of his stature could actually do. His what he does and how he does it when he comes on, I think is okay. I think it's pretty good. I don't think he lets anybody down. Personally, I know some people take against him. That's fine. What people think is what people think. But would I swap him for Ashley Young and the things that he could bring for a season? Yeah, I'd do it. He was with us for 1.5 seasons. His first full season, he got us up. Full proper season. Wonder if he could do it with his last. Be interesting.
That'd be interesting. And you and I were having a discussion earlier on, Peter. Would that make him one of, if not the oldest player to be at Watford?
And the answer is still no.
I'm doing it for the benefit of the stream, Peter.
I apologise.
Yes.
Justin there being.
I wasn't there earlier, so I don't know the answer to this.
No, Johnny Goodall, who was our first ever actual manager, who'd been with Preston when the first league was ever played, and was one of the Invincibles. Then became our first manager in about 1890 something or other. The guys, or maybe even 1901. I don't know, but he was about 44 at the time. So
I'm surprised I didn't know the answer to that straight off.
Well, there you go. That's why I'm here. That and health supplements. So what can you do? What can you do? What else though? Has been going on? We have had so many players that we have been linked with. I think there's a question about Diallo, who was linked to us, and one that I got the all clear to. Yeah, okay, all right. If you're going to do an animation, do it on him. And now he's not there. I'm hearing that is still alive, which surprised me, because I thought if we are going to bring in the next person who has flown, who's done interviews and is talking about it, and a lot of people are getting very excited about, then I'd be surprised if we were going to get him and young Pap Diallo. Apart from, obviously, we also got Mama, and everybody's been saying, doing the mamas and the papas joke forever and a day. But it'll be interesting. But they certainly seem to be going for it whilst keeping chunks of change in the Pozzo pocket. Because the other thing about this thing that we talked about earlier on with young Kjerrumgaard coming in is the fact that because it's a loan to Udinese and coming to us next year, it doesn't present us with a financial problem this year.
Yeah.
Most players who have come in at a capital outlay so far of pretty much nothing. Now that will change with the lad we're about to talk about, Nestory Irankunda, which is another. I have to describe him as Derek Payne classic. Can't wait.
I can't see what's going to go wrong with that name.
No.
Anyway,
no, we're going to get Derek on at some point and say, Derek, what do you think of these names? One's Dave, one's Colin, and that'll do really. But so we've been linked with Nestory Irankunda, and I've spelt his name wrong there. And there I've corrected it to get it right. That was the noise you heard, was me trying to put the right number in there. But so there we go. Nestory Irankunda, which a lot of people have got very excited because they've heard the words Bayern and Munich. That's enough to get you excited. However, may I remind everybody, I'm not saying I'm not getting excited with this guy, but a lot of people said, "Oh, he's a wonder kid." Adalberto Peñaranda, anybody? Or indeed those of a certain age, Sonny Pike. A lot of people who are teenage wonder. You're asking,
Pike.
Yeah, and you've heard of him?
No.
and thus my point.
I think your comparison when I spoke to you earlier on was quite good, because we're talking B team, are we not? Are we?
Yes.
Talking about,
Bayern. He's been at Bayern B effectively. We also remember Ray Manai, who everyone went Barcelona, and we went no, Barcelona B. The B makes a big difference in terms of it. Now, this kid, he is indeed a wonder kid. There is no doubt about it. He has got some chops. It's great, and he would go. Nobody will be more pleased than all of us if he does well. I'm just kind of keeping the powder dry a little bit, because I think it's important that we we support this kid and get behind him and don't be necessitating any problems. I'm sure he'll go off like a firecracker, like Rocco Vata did, when he finally got the chance, because this kid's got a dig on him. He can strike from range. But if you haven't looked at his stats, just have a look at here for a moment. When he made his debut in the A-League, basically he comes from Australia. But first of all, he was in Tanzania, so his family moved to Australia because of a civil war going on in Tanzania. He was basically brought up and played, and was playing in and around the Adelaide area. Ended up playing for Adelaide United. He made his debut at the age of 15 years and 333 days. So there's a couple of things there. One, you've got to know about the strength of the A-League. It is not the strongest. It genuinely isn't. Like a lot of these developing leagues, it's getting better, as things go on. But he had a lot of games, and he had, a couple of, fine scoring kind of rounds, especially in 23-24, when he had 8 goals and 6 assists in 25 league games. That's really good. That's really cool, and it brought him to the attention of Bayern Munich. But it comes to Bayern Munich 2, which you'll see if you look halfway up this, you'll see how many league games he played for Bayern in the regional Liga. They play in a much, much reduced regional league rather than playing in the Bundesliga or the Bundesliga 2. It's a far, far, far reduced thing. Doesn't mean he's not going to be good, but let's just temper this with a little bit of, kind of steer the lad.
Perspective.
Absolutely. He's done really well, to the point whereby at the top you'll see he got 19 games where he got moved out to Grasshoppers of Zurich, who are indeed a proper club. I'm not making that up. The Swiss do have some funny names. They also have Young Boys, which is just just a commentator's nightmare, let's be frank. But he went there, played 19 games, 1,182 minutes, and he got a single goal and 3 assists. Now, that's not taking, the Swiss league to pieces because he's so there. So just give him time to bed in. The other comparison I'd make for him is actually looking at Bar. Bar came in and for 2 years didn't really do much. He needed to kind of get to wherever he needed to get to. The club needed to have somebody, in this instance, it was obviously Tom Cleverley, who would actually trust the kid and go, yeah, okay, give you a chance. Kid, how condescending do I sound? The young man, and let him go, do what he's done, which is when he's fit, he's torn it apart. Have every hope that he can do that. But if he's not, let's not tear into him. He's seemingly coming in on a 5-year contract. However, you'll have heard, and if you haven't, I'll refresh. A lot of people have been doing lots of stuff on the transfer stuff. We've been fairly sort of sitting back and seeing what happens more than anything there. And other people have been doing a great job with it. 2.5 million apparently is the fee, but they are going to be getting 50% of the sell-on. So this is one of these whereby we are looking at a player coming to us. They will want him to get time so that his value increases, and there is a 50% sell-on. But there is also a buyback clause from Bayern, because clearly they've seen enough of him to think there might be something there. And when they're negotiating a reduced transfer fee for a better sell-on fee for him realizing his potential, they're playing the long game on it as well. So it's good for us. It means he comes in on a small capital outlay. We get to see exactly what he can do. If you see any of the stuff that he does, especially the stuff from the A-League, it looks incredibly good, and he looks very exciting, and I'm sure he is. But similar to Kjerrumgaard, it's a hell of a jump from the Danish league, second division, to the English league, second division. It really does take a little while to get there. So things to consider.
Yes. Sorry, one of my neighbours is having a Tesco's delivery at the moment. Talking of Quadwo Bar, Carlos, you've managed to find out that he's staying forever, and he's never going anywhere, because you had a chat with him on Saturday, right?
Yes. Yeah. All on the vlog. It was a very quick chat. Don't get me wrong. There was nothing too big in that, but it was more of a case of, please don't leave us. Are you staying? And no, he said he's staying. So all the rumours about we might want to be flogging him on or getting rid. I don't know. You can judge it on whatever you want, but I think when you go to the horse's mouth and ask, why would he say it? I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, the long game, but yeah, no, it was good to see him. We saw Eze there as well, which we should mention, of Crystal Palace fame.
You liked his car, right?
Yeah, no. Yes, I saw his car before I saw him, which immediately alarmed me, thinking that there was a Watford player driving around in a 125 grand car. But luckily, it was a Premier League player.
Very seemingly lovely guy. I know he runs his foundation, runs a tournament thing, and so he's very sort of philanthropic already at his age. But also, he was like he didn't duck any photo opportunities, any signatures or anything like that at all. It took him a while to get in. It took him even longer, I'm sure, to get out with the number of kids. But I know it's a small thing, and I know people will go, well, they're paid all this money, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't working. He was watching, presumably, a mate play for Wimbledon. I'm making the presumption. But, and no, he was as good as gold, which was good to see. Good to see. What did we think? I mean, let's have a look at the friendlies as well. Justin, you went to the Boreham Wood game, and you were the first one to see, in a live fire environment, Mr. Q in really quite bright blue. What were your thoughts
on the game? I spent a lot of it interviewing people, so I didn't see an awful lot of it. But it was standard pre-season walk fest. Really, it wasn't anything eye-catching in terms of football. But a 2-0 win's a 2-0 win. The goals were very good. Particularly the second goal was taken nicely on a rebound. So I walked away from there thinking, oh, this all feels quite nice. That's what I took away from it, to be honest.
Very good. Carlos, Wimbledon, obviously playing it. Yeah. First of all, what did you think of that green and black / navy blue kit for the Wimbledon are wearing?
I thought we were playing Yeovil, but no, I actually quite liked it, but I didn't realise that was their away kit. So yeah, a bit of a shocker, but yeah, very Plymouth-esque stroke Yeovil, indeed.
Fair enough. What did you think of the game? Obviously, you had a new cameraman for the vlog that's received some commentary on his impact. How's that? How did that go?
Yeah, Blue Cheese Brett was brilliant. To be fair to him, look, it's a learning curve. We're trying something new on the vlog, so we've got to. We want to change it up, and he was very enthusiastic throughout. He's had some comments, bless him. But yeah, no, it's good. It's something we want to continue for the rest of the season, home and away. But I need more camera personnel. So if you are listening to this and you'd like to apply, please comment below. But the game itself, I don't know. I didn't see too much where I'm going. This is HMS Pistol League, put it that way, but. I thought Cipriano had a good game in the centre of mid. And yeah, there wasn't really much that I took away going, yay, but friendly. So I'm not overly bothered. We'll see. I'm off to Leyton Orient on Saturday, so I'll be interested to see how we turn up there.
Saturday week. Remember, don't go this Saturday.
Oh, Saturday week. Yeah, it's not this Saturday. Saturday week. Correct.
We've had this discussion already.
We had this conversation in the pub. We did. Yes.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of little things that have come in about players and stuff. So we've got a few players coming in, and all could be hit or miss. I mean, that is standard whatever transfer window. I mean, yeah, that could be a thing. This is from the wonderfully named Ryan Dabdu. Hello, do you think we could get promoted this year? Ryan, Watford fan. Let's hope so. That's all I'm going to say. Let's hope so.
Lovely. It's worth a tenner.
The thing is, though, we've all said once you get promoted, traditionally when Watford get promoted, it's a season of pain the following year. And, you're getting beat week in, week out. Although that didn't happen 2015, but who knows? I mean, that is a quite a painful thing if it happens. The Watford way seemed quite confident. We're actually winning the lot. which is quite nice.
James has been sniffing the meths again. Well done, James. Keep it going.
Yeah, and there's a request for more Taylor on the blog, please, Carl. So there you go. That's from Greg.
More Taylor, yeah. Taylor's taking up his own thing, really. So he will still be there, of course. We travel home and away, but I will try my best to get him to jump into bins, bushes, whatever we find next season.
Reckless endangerment of Taylor is a risk we're prepared for him to take, which I think, is something that the other podcasts don't give you. So, there we go. Go on then. What's next?
Well, I mean, should we do some of the Q&A that we've had in? Do you want to look at that? No.
There is one thing, but let's deal with football before we get on to what Uncle Ron, who nobody's seen for a little while, hope he's good, would have called frippery. So before the frippery, let's just have a look at something, because people have been looking and wondering, well, what are we doing? We're not really buying kind of championship experience or EFL experience, but of course we did that earlier on. Kyprianou, as we all know, was sort of coming in, with a view to this summer, so that was done. Obviously a new goalkeeper, and we're all expecting Backman at some point to move on, etc., and we'll move on and go through. So we have brought in a little bit of a sort of a British and an English element to it, and now we're looking at the foreign players and at the attacking end rather than at the sort of the midfield and what have you. There is, and I say I'm going to plagiarise him. I'm not. I'm going to quote him directly and absolutely all things to him. There's a Twitter account called GBE Expert Hub. Now, GBE, I did a video on this when I was doing New Orleans TV before I got involved with this nonsense, and it's called a governing body endorsement. What it does is it talks about how do you get a work permit if you're a foreign player to come and play in the UK, and I've not seen anything better than this gentleman looking at his name's Andy Watson from Stockton-on-Tees, and he just looks at it as a general subject. He does a podcast on it as well, so do go and follow him, because I don't imagine that the amount of podcasters who are going to listen to GBE experts may not be many, but if we can give him a few, that would be good, because this is stuff that he has looked at, and I think he's been absolutely A1. A governing body endorsement is a points-based system for foreign players coming to play in English football. As I say, I talked about this about 3 years ago. This is if you qualify with a set of criteria, then you can come and play. Okay? That's been tightened up since I did that video and changed. And effectively now also what you have is what is called, and you might have seen it referenced as an ESC. It stands for Exceptional Sporting Consideration. And it's like a wild card. So each club is given a number of wild cards that they can effectively utilize in order to, people don't have to comply with getting the points that they need for a governing body endorsement. I know this is a bit dry, but bear with me here. This is some stuff whereby you look at it and go, we haven't had much out of Udinese recently. And then if you go back to January, do you remember we all did, and I did, because I didn't see this at the time, when we've signed Selvik. Why didn't we sign Selvik directly from Norway? Why did he go to Udinese and then we bought him about 3 weeks later? And we looked at the dates and we said Backman was injured then. They knew he was going to be out. Made no sense. Welcome to sense. Okay. What this is, and if I really can only, I can't push this gentleman more. It's really, really good stuff. He explains that what you need is you need to get 15 points to get a governing body endorsement. Because if you don't get that, you need to be one of 4 wild cards. For example, a wild card last year was Mamadou Doumbia. So he was one of the ones that we went, right, we're using that. Another one was Mileta Rajovic, because he hasn't played international football. He hadn't played at a high enough level. So what does he do? Well, part of the way you acquire these points is dependent on your league. This is all stuff I've taken from his Twitter account. As I say, do go and follow him. And it was explaining, look, here's the band 1. You get more points for those. I'm going to explain what points you get in a minute. Band 2, and you can see what you're doing as you come down is getting to potentially a weaker domestic league. So it's trying to say, well, you need to have played in one of these in order to move forward and up and get and be quality and therefore bring it in. The idea is to try to avoid, bringing in loads of players who are just basically rubbish. It's to try to protect the market. So you've got band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4, band 5. And this will be moved. If you look at the bottom of band 5, you can see the red flag with the blue and white cross in the middle. That is Norway. That's where Egil Selvik came in from. However, what happens, and he goes in and explains this, because he's not knocking Watford, and I'm somebody who's put to Scott Duxbury before and said, oh, well, you've had a loophole there when we sold Hassan Kamara for 16 million. And he went, it's not a loophole, it's a brilliant solution. It's a brilliant solution that other people will look at and question, which they did, but they got around it, so fine. I'm not questioning Watford on this. Mr. GBE expert, he's sitting there going, God, they're doing this well. This isn't a knock. This is a kind of an understanding. What he found out was, if you have been at, for example, like Selvik, in band 5, let's go across and see how many points they get for the bands they're in, right? He could get up to, if he plays 100% of matches, if we come down to the bottom, which is the domestic minutes played, if he plays 100%, okay, of all games in band 5, he will only get 4 points. Bearing in mind, he's got to get up to 15 points to get in on this governing body endorsement. However, there is a ruling in there that I hadn't seen anybody else spot, which is, if on this table you are playing in one, but then you are registered to play in another, you get the higher of it. So what happens is Selvik goes from getting basically in band 5, he goes from getting 4 points to getting 12 points, because he's now classed as band 1, because Italy is up there in band 1, there at the end. So this is a little trick that, because of the parent club, we're able to do and bring round and get them extra points. The same thing he suggests is happening with Kjerrumgaard, because he's been playing in Norwegian Division 2, which would be effectively band 6. But he's signed to Udinese, presumably registered to play. Presumably, this is something that he said about, I'm sure they'll be able to push it. But he's coming to Watford. Now, of course, Watford would be able to, and this is me surmising from what we've heard here. There is a rule now in FIFA that you cannot play for more than 3 clubs in a given period of time, in a calendar year or in a season or whatever it is. They'll be saying, well, yeah, he's there, he's registered to play, but we need to move him on loan. If he plays for Udinese, we wouldn't be able to bring him on loan, and therefore it wouldn't occur. So they can kind of go with the well-positioned argument that actually he gets 12 points for being loaned from a tier 1 club. So we're able to basically go and get players who might not have been otherwise eligible to come in, not necessarily use a wild card, which is that ESC, that exceptional sporting contribution thing, and then bring them in. And that's the reason. And that is possibly the reason why Selvik came to us via Udinese in the first place. So they're little things that made us look and go, just something there. So there you go. Something to think about and look at. Well, just before I finish that, just to show you one thing, if I may. Sorry.
Cool.
There is, as ever, a little bit of something to consider here. In order to get that, okay, if you look at the bottom part or the bottom text on here, he says transfer marked, have a page that breaks this down, because what it says at the start is they are entitled to 4 wild cards, so wild exemption, so we can sign various people. The rules say that you have to give 35% of your first team minutes to English qualified players. So this is the kind of the quid pro quo. How many percentages of minutes do you think transfer marks say are with English qualified players last season? We need to get to 35.
Now, you told me earlier on it's 21% or something, isn't it?
It's 20.1%. We were bottom but one, but we're not alone there. There's a number of other players who were sort of below that, but we were way below the average. Now, I've just talked about going to the FA or going to the Home Office, etc. What did we do in the earliest part of this season, or the earliest part of the close season? We went and signed English qualified players, because even though Kyprianou plays for Cyprus, he's an English qualified player. He can still play here because of his registration. Same thing with both. So they can go and say, actually, look, we're upping our English count, but the quid pro quo of that, so we'll try and get to that. But in the meantime, here we are. So it's It's an interesting thing, this football administration lark, but they seem to be doing something quite well. It's being admired by GBE expert, and very good he is too. Can have a look at his Twitter.
Or to pressy it, you've got to give it to the club for being able to find the loopholes. Absolutely.
This is true. So
absolutely.
Well, they did it. If you look back, they did it when they first came in, didn't they? We were being called Loanford. They did it then, and
Udinese B.
Yeah.
Who can forget that? Udinese B. I had that shouted at me by a Crystal Palace fan at the playoff final. I'm just minding my own business. Udinese B. All right, mate, easy.
And I hope you turned round, and I grant you, this would have been with about 12 years foresight, and said European Conference League. That would have shown him, if only.
Well, yes, if only I'd known that. Yeah, that'd be crystal ball. Okay. Anything to add to that, or shall we move on to punters questions? There's
questions. Let's do it.
Yeah, there's a thing we haven't had for a while. Shall we start with Louis? This is quite nice. One footballing and one off-field wish for this season. So one footballing and one off-field wish for this season. Footballing, I'd like to see some football. That would be nice, rather than tippy tappy, not going forward, backwards, sideways passing. That would certainly be my footballing wish. An off-field wish.
I've got mine straight away.
Let's do yours then.
Well, my off-field wish would be that the beer at half time is actually drinkable. That would be lovely. I know there's new things happening behind the scenes, so I look forward to that. And on the field, I think it's similar. I think consistency for me. I just want to see some consistency in how we approach, and a little bit more of a team ethic. Going out to attack, going out to win games, not giving teams an opportunity when we're winning 1-0 to come back and get back into the game. So interesting to see. Mine's very basic, and it always involves beer.
Well, yes, Peter.
What do I think? I agree about the identity. I think that would be a really nice thing to see us be forward-footed. We've often said, forward-footed football, front-footed football. Even let's try and use the right language, shall we? Pete? That'd be nice. Off the field, I think we're sort of doing it. I want to see the accounts. I want to see the accounts, because we came down to supposedly from 33 million wages to 17. I want to see that off the field we are having a go with it, but we are doing it intelligently. And I've given an example of where I think we are doing it intelligently. Whether or not we'll find later on if there's certain things you catch a cold on. I hope we are not driving up the debt. I don't think we are, because I don't think Gino is trying to spend his money. There's a lot of people who have said, when we start spending transfer fees, I've been sort of alone here saying, I don't want us to spend transfer fees. Transfer fees are dead money when you spend it. We signed Kevin Phillips for 10 grand. He was immense. He wouldn't have been any better had we spent 200 million or 200 or 10 grand as we did. You just need decent signings. This season feels, I think, to a lot of people, a little bit like 2012, 2013. We're bringing in players who we haven't necessarily known, but the vibes feel kind of interesting and good. We get the feeling that and the understanding that Gino has re-engaged, shall we say, and has reignited his passion and wants to do something. We've got a manager that, okay, I don't think he's going to win many friends on occasions, from what I've heard on various things, but he knows what he wants to do. And even today, if you saw the video of him meeting, and of course his English is not, it's not too bad, but it's not the best. But the one thing he said to young Luca, as I will call him in the now known Derek Payne fashion, he went, work hard. These guys have had a hard working pre-season. I know some people have said, wouldn't it be nice to have a jaunt to a foreign land for a friendly? And yeah, you're absolutely right. It would be great. We went up to Hibernian last year in Scotland. That was an absolute doozy. But going off to some sunny climes so that anybody who's not already on holiday can go and have a couple of days away. You're not wrong. That'd be lovely. However, they've put it in where they are. They're doing the important stuff, which is they're doing the hard yards, they're doing the test. And I think we started to see some things against Wimbledon that looked reasonable. We were trying to play the ball, forward a little bit more, especially in the first half. Pre-season tends to kind of fall away in second halves, as the thing you've most recently learnt you forget under fatigue. But it was I'm hoping that we're in for a good one without busting the bank. Do I want promotion? I will take a top 6 finish as a very, very fine thing indeed. What about you?
Yeah, I mean that actually, as I say, with promotion does come the following season, which isn't always much fun. But we have to see an improvement on what we've seen the past couple of seasons, and you would put money on the fact that might happen because we've now got some players that feel as if they can make a difference. When you hear, transfer news that Musa Sissoko's come back, and I'm not picking on Musa Sissoko, but when you hear Musa Sissoko's come back, we got Bio for another season, you go, well, it's going to be more of the same, isn't it? It's going to be more of the same. Whereas if you've got some new players, it's unknown, so there's no expectation, you don't know anything about them, and you naturally go in with an optimism, I think. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it remains to be seen. You lose the first 5 matches, and then we all start questioning things, but let's see. There's a question here from Carl Campion. A number of more vocal supporters, according to X, did not renew their season tickets at the end of last season. If this was you, with a few new signings and the usual pre-season optimism, would you be questioning your decision? That's the Tesco delivery that you can hear going on behind me.
Oh, is it?
So basically, if you gave up your season ticket at the end of last season, would you now be questioning your decision?
It happened to you.
It absolutely did happen to me, and I questioned my decision immediately, and then I spent the whole season, which in those days was probably a little bit easier because it was a little bit easier to buy tickets on a match by match basis, literally doing that.
I'll add something to it, and it's probably right or wrong. I know at the end of last season there was a lot of talk about people not renewing the season tickets while Gino was still at the club. And I think if that's your, if that's what you want to do, absolutely fine. If that's your way of showing that you're dissatisfied with that, no problem. In terms of the football, in terms of the team, yeah, I think if we're having a good season, in Gino really did bear his flag at the end of last season in terms of getting rid of Tom. And we've heard it before saying that we're going to have a real go. And I think on the video today, when the new signing met Scott Duxbury, it was mentioned again during that video. So they're really flying their underpants in the wind to make themselves known about this. And we've covered it before. I'm sure Gino wants to sell the club, but he wants to sell the club, and we'd all be the same if it was us, at its best possible position, and that is in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. So is this having a go? I think so. There's new bodies coming in. There's players that we need goals. That's what we said last season. Yeah. We've got strikers in. I can't look at it and go, Gino's not backing it, the manager, blah 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 blah. I can't. So if that's the reason that you've given up your season ticket, fair play to you. But for me, I didn't see that as a reason to show my dissatisfaction. Do I trust the guy? Not an inch. He's proven that. But look, what's happening is what he said, and the proof's in the pudding, and we'll see. But everyone's different. You'll have your own ways of The reason that you didn't get your season ticket at the time was because we sacked a manager. Was it? Am I right there, Justin?
Yeah, we let Lewington go for reasons that I didn't think were good enough, and they replaced him with somebody that nobody'd ever heard of, and then
he smashed it.
Well, he lost the first game, didn't he? To Preston, I think it was.
Preston.
And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing these results, and then I mean, a game that sticks out in my mind was one against Wolverhampton Wanderers at home. Glenn Hoddle was managing Wolves. We ripped them apart, and there was various other games as well. I just thought, man, this is what we've been missing. Why did I not renew my season ticket? And you can bet your ass that the next year I reapplied. So I mean, is anything to add to that, Peter?
Well, yeah. I mean, no, I think there is, because I think here we are. A ball has not been kicked in anger, nor will it be. And you started to regret not renewing your season ticket after, I would suggest, a little while. So I think at this moment in time, nothing is proved. Everything is outstanding. Whether or not we've got, 3 very young, very inexperienced forwards, whether that brings us loads of energy and loads of enthusiasm, and they rip it up, great. But let's not get confused. This is not Odion Igalo. This is not Troy Deeney. This is not Matty Vidra, and this is not Forestieri, who also did a reasonable job as backups. It's not quite the same thing. We're not playing the same formation. Football isn't quite the same. Absolutely. However, they've got that yet to prove, on the playing side. The people who have decided that, they are not renewing, and it hasn't just been this season. There have been many people who have decided that, they're no longer going to be following Watford actively, shall we say, over a number of seasons, because of the way that Gino has run the club, and not just the last 3. It goes right the way through his tenure. In fairness to some of these people, they're not proven wrong at this moment in time. We just wait and see. However, the difference between this and previous windows have been the fact that, some people have said, go and look in the lower reach, or, go and look in the EFL, go and look and bring in some championship ready players. We have brought in a few more, certainly more than, Tom Cleverley ever got given, clearly. And now we are bringing in something that is potentially exciting. Potentially. We wait to see whether or not it gets there. We hope it will do. But all of those guys did not give in or give up their season ticket, because of not wanting to support the team. Far from it. They've given up their season tickets in order, as they see, to try to support the club moving forward as they see it. You can't argue with that. It's individual people with different opinions. Let's get on with it.
Shall we talk Pukka Pies? Shall we talk Pukka Pies? Shall we talk Pukka Pies?
It's an area that I consider that we should be, pretty good on.
So Pukka Pies are coming back to Vicarage Road. Wendover Horn asks, which flavour of the Pukka Pie do we hope is stocked at the Vic? And I'm going to turn my mic off while this van moves away, and I'll let you talk for a second.
Well, whatever's in the back of that van.
Well, in fairness, do we not need to leap to actually understand what are the flavours available? Because
let's do that. I imagine you've got a graphic handy.
Do we have to look at that?
Here we have a graphic. Screen nice and big for everybody there. Yeah, absolutely. So in goal is vegan minced steak and onion. Vegan
can stay there as well.
I'm just saying. All steak is at right back. Very much the Jeremy and Gakia of pies, I believe. Chicken balti. Kind of, okay, that's all right. Bit Ryan Porteous, kind of looks okay, but might hurt you in the end. Chicken and mushroom on the left-hand side. Veggie, cheese, leek and potato. Very much the LaRucci, I would suggest, of the whole thing. Veggie tikka masala, steak and kidney, steak and ale, and minced beef and onion make up the midfield. Up front, we have meat and potato cheese and onion. So come on then, what are we going for?
Well,
I'll tell you what, there's a few in there I could have.
Yeah. I mean, immediately.
Yeah. Carl Wilson, he's gone. He's gone early. He said steak and kidney. Thomas Parker is going, you missed chip shop curry. Where's that? Where's that? I didn't miss that. This is off of this is from Pukka Pies, but it was from 2021. So Thomas is correcting me. There is also chip shop chicken curry pie as well.
Oh, see, there you go. That's another one I'd be up for as well. Chicken balti, classic. You got to go there.
Well, immediately I'm reminded of when the Rookery used to do the chicken balti, which was absolutely fantastic. They used to have those in the Rookery, and we're talking 2000, 2001, something like that.
Meat and potato. They're good. There's a few in there.
Are we agreed that the vegan ones can just not be included? I mean,
the only one. No, the only one that I'd look at is that veggie cheese, leek and potato. That might be all right.
Yeah, but is that veggie cheese? I mean, are we talking cheese that's been nowhere near a cow?
Okay, I mean, then no, that needs to be removed. Yes.
Yeah, that can go.
I'm going in central midfield. It's very much the Micah Hyde and Richard Johnson of the pie world. It's steak and apple and steak and kidney. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Fan. Don't eat offal. It's not for me. That
there is one. Fan,
no, I don't do offal. No, there's a reason it's offal. It goes in the bin.
Which is the other one? Which one? Which one are you going for?
Well, I meat and potato, and minced beef and onion as well. They definitely be up there. I'll work my way through them through the season. Don't worry.
Well, let's just caveat that these aren't all going to be. We don't think these are all going to be available as pies. We're just picking ones that we would want.
Typical.
Yeah. So
there's one thing I do want, and anybody that had a pie last season or the season before, they used to come in like a nice little tin with a fork that used to pop in there. Then they went, let's get rid of the tin and just leave them in a bag. So you had to basically try and eat them like a burger, which when you've got meat and stuff inside doesn't work. So please have the tins and a fork, please. That's all I ask. It's a basic.
Chicken balti is also getting there's very much a meat-based pie thing going on in the Remnant.
Yeah.
Kettle surprise. Go on.
I don't mind a cheese and potato is all right on with a cup of Bovril.
Okay, that's fair enough. Maple thought
you're balancing your vegetarian pie with Bovril, like it. Okay.
You can't have gravy with it.
Mablethorpe Darts says minced beef and onion all day. I like to see that's the level of sort of thoroughness that you're going to have. Ryan has said, what about a cheese and onion? But has then let himself down by spelling cheese incorrectly. Sorry, Ryan, must try harder there. And Carl Wilson, he's talking about the economics of everything. £8 a pie, I guess. Yes, well done. If anything will see us through, it's a level of gallows humour and making sure that we're kind of prepared for the worst. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be cheap, is it? It's going to be a deal, isn't it? You just know it. It's going to be, a pie and a pint or something for 15 quid or something like that. But it's nice to have them back, I guess. Did we have Pukka Pies before? Or is this a new thing?
No, long time ago, I think. I'm sure we did.
Did we? Okay. Should we move away from pies now? I think we've got, a lot of people watching that are going, why are they talking about Watford? That's a good question.
Before we go, can I also just say that, Ed, and hello, Ed, not spoken to you in a long time. Hope the little one's well. Spoke to your brother the other month and went, where's Ed? And he went, he's just become a dad. Well done, excellent.
Oh,
but
congratulations.
He says, rumour has it. Now, Ed, you've gone with with what I can only describe as the US spelling of rumour, which is technically wrong. That's all I'm saying. See Fleetwood Mac for details. Uncle Ron is so optimistic for the upcoming season that he's deleted X. Nothing left to complain about. Somehow, I think he speaks with fork tongue. And that fork may go in a satisfactory pie when we see Ed come back over at some point. There you go.
Absolutely right. Okay. So Thomas asks, with pre-season games having Sissoko as captain, does this mean he will officially be club captain or will someone else get the nod? If you had to pick a captain and a vice captain, who would you choose and why?
Good question.
Well, that seems to have stumped us, Thomas. Thanks for your question.
I think Matty Pollock stands out for me for a captain.
That's a very good call.
Yes. Imran Loser?
Yeah, another one. Vice captain.
Are you going Matty first, Imran second, are you?
That's what I
when obviously it was at the Wimbledon game and there was Mrs. Sissoko was there. Mrs. Sissoko, very much the new Mrs. Hoot for anybody who remembers my thoughts about her. Very attractive lady, and she has 3 little Sissokos that I counted. There may be more, I don't know. So I would suggest that Musa has an awful lot already that he's doing to look after the community that is the Sissoko family. Maybe being the club captain and all of the kind of extracurricular and community things might be a little bit difficult for him there. Matty, of course, has got a young one himself, just come along last season, so he might be a bit busy, but certainly not as busy and industrious as Musa has been. So yeah, I'll go Matty Pollock
as captain and vice.
And vice captain? No,
yeah.
Well, this was asking about club captain. That's not the captain on the day.
Yeah.
I think you can have Musa Sissoko in as the club captain. Yeah, absolutely. I'd have Imran Loser after that. Definitely. Anything sweet.
Are we forgetting about Ashley Young perhaps being club captain if he comes in?
He's too old.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. He's too old for community effect. No, go with people who've been here a little while.
Jason suggests
poor old Ashley Young. Every time he goes up to a kind of an event, there'll be Carl sitting there going, "What about that Manchester United supporting thing? Eh? Hey, what happened with that? What happened with that cheering?"
Yeah. Do you want to sit down, Ashley? Your knees must be hurt. Come on, you're getting on now.
Ashley, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on a podcast. Jason says Imran, Captain Pollock, Vice, which I think is probably the right order of things, actually. That's assuming that Imran stays, of course. Who knows? Ready for another question? Have we exhausted that, haven't we? I think we have. Simon Parkins asks, with the circus of 2 documentary-making teams in the Championship, particularly Wrexham, how do you think this will impact the division? Would you like a Watford documentary?
Well, I think we had one, didn't we, for American TV at some point?
Was that something to do with Gary Lineker? Was Gary Lineker involved in it? I seem to remember rumours of a documentary when Lineker was involved. Am I dreaming this? Help me, everybody.
I was in it, though. I was dressed as Banana Man away at West Bromwich Albion, and I featured in said documentary. But yeah, no, it's not for me. I think, look, I think Wrexham's story is brilliant. I've got my own thoughts on Wrexham and the fan base, and I won't use it here. But it's not something that I want to get involved with. Having said that, on the flip side of that coin, if somebody said we're going to pay you $100 million to have a thing, of course you'd do it, because you'd be stupid not to. But I don't know. I just think it's a new thing at the moment, isn't it? The lads, the 92 Man United boys, done the Salford thing, which obviously withered away. And Wrexham is going to be an interesting story next season to see how they get on in the Championship. It's a really interesting league this season. But for me, I'd rather not have loads of cameras around. Coming from somebody that vlogs week in and week out, I think I know is hypocritical, but that's just where I am with it.
Would you take that 100 million if it meant we now were playing in the Netflix stadium?
Or the 200 million, and you can call it what you want, but it's still Vicarage Road.
Okay. All right. Peter, what do you think? What would the documentary be called even?
No. I wouldn't have a documentary. We are a soap opera for certain.
There you go.
See the kit launch date detail. It's basically it's like, I did say this on the to some people the other day. I said it's like trying to follow Donald Trump's administration in the White House. Just as one thing happens, you don't get to quite kind of process what's happened before the next event happens. Oh my God, we're now signing suddenly people out of nowhere. The kit's blue. What's going on with that? All sorts of all of that. No, it's a soap opera, and let's keep it that way.
Absolutely. Quick answers on this one. This one's just come in from Mablethorpe Darts Lad. We have discussed this before, but very quickly, because he doesn't know. What was your first match at the Vic? Mine was September 87, I think. Watford versus Man United, 1-0, Ewan Roberts. That would have been 86, I think, not 87. Maybe I'm wrong.
Can I just say welcome to the club, Mablethorpe, for just finishing on there. By the way, I'm 56 now. People don't realise, but what happens when you hit your 50s? First of all, somebody comes in the night, anaesthetises you, tissue types you, and basically removes your bladder that was once expansive and would last all night with a paper bag that you would kind of, I don't know, give grapes in, and they're very small and doesn't work. That's one thing. The other thing is you start telling everybody your age. Well done, Mablethorpe.
Well done.
In answer to your question, 1978 April, Southend at home, 1-1. It was when we lifted the trophy for the 4th division. So that was I was a glory hunting hornet for the first 10 years of my life, because I just presumed you went to Vicarage Road and won, and that was it really. But so that was good. Great thing to do. You guys?
Yeah. I was 1989. We beat Bradford 7-1. I think it was December time. I've got a program over there, but so 7-1. I thought that was the first game, and we would do that week in and week out. How wrong was I?
I was 1985 Coventry at home. We won 3-0. Wilf Rostron, Neil Smiley, and Colin West getting the goals, I believe.
Oh,
so there we go.
Neil Smiley. Gotta love that. Absolutely.
Jason is obviously a little bit older than us. a train chuffed against the score. Nice. I used to like it when they did things with the scoreboard when things happen, like the little men jumping up and down, which are now back, I think.
They are indeed. They are indeed. You know
Chiefly
they
thanks to some work from you, Peter. That's why I said I was leading into it. So when we score now, that those little men do appear in the Sir Elton John stand on the little screens. Hopefully that'll be something that carries on next year. We've all done our first game, so I can lose that question now. Thank you very much for that. Next question is from Peter Ryan, who lives literally just there. Best thing for the players and fans to do or have at half time. He's put veg, chocolate, praise, rollicking, Mr. Blue Q challenge. So I think he's asking what the fans should be doing at half time.
Yeah.
And what the players. And he's also put, and when did a slice of orange at half time fall from grace? Now, when I played football, club football, when I was young, half time came along. We're all thinking, I could do some drinks, so maybe a Coke or something. And they give you a slice of orange, which was just the most bizarre thing. You must remember that as well at half time, slices of orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the water bottles that came into vogue in probably about the 80s. Basically, nobody would ever remember to wash them out. So they were like dank kit. You wouldn't really want to drink out of the water bottle. So the great thing about an orange, of course, you just take a knife and cut them, and there you go. And of course, everybody puts the orange underneath their gums and wanders around looking like they're a citrus-based zombie. Or was that just my team? Maybe, I don't know.
Yes.
What we do at half time? I like the Mr. Q challenge. It's much better now. They kick it at the goal rather than trying to hit the penalty or hit the centre spot. That wasn't great. So I quite like that, and I definitely love still the half-time penalty shootout with the kids coming on. All of that is very good, but I think I do think we should have some operatic amputee football, which was the thing that Justin thinks he remembered.
That's pre-match entertainment, Peter. Not half-time. That was pre-match entertainment. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we've done it time and time again. We've gone on about the lack of entertainment or how entertainment's changed over the years. I still remember marching bands, for God's sake, before games and at half time, and dogs jumping through hoops of fire and all that sort of stuff. I imagine these days that the groundsman would have a heart attack over the idea of, things being set ablaze on his pitch or people marching up and down it. So, yeah, I mean, it is a little bit sad that, entertainment in football when there's no players on the pitch is gone. But at half time, I don't know. I do find the PA at Watford too loud. It may be an age thing. I don't know. I'm trying to talk to people before a game or whatever. You just cannot hear yourself think. It's too noisy, in my opinion.
Look at Thomas Parker, the voice of sanity.
Oh, the Hornets.
Yes. The Hornets, who I was on the pitch with. I did do the pom-pom things in the stand, and then we got invited on to the last game of the season, which was at home to Leicester. We needed to win to stay up. They needed to win to go up. So suddenly 22,000 are in, and old Fatty here is doing dancing with the Hornets.
I remember seeing it. That's one of the things I remember seeing, because, like you say, it was one of those games where everybody went to that game because it was like really crucial. And you had "We Are Staying Up" on the back of your shirts, right?
Yes, we did. We finished them. We wanted to do many things. We wanted to beat up Harry the Hornet, and the club said, "No, you can't do that. That would incite a riot." Like, yes, of course it would.
Is that Steve Claridge? Did Steve Claridge score in that game?
No, it was Heskey. I remember to this day it was 1-0 to them. And what was the other thing? We said various things that we suggested doing, but of course they were fun and silly, so they said no. So we went, fuck it, we'll just do it anyway. And we got a load of paint and some t-shirts underneath, and so we did the stupid thing. We got a trophy or something or other for basically being idiots. And then we took the t-shirts on and it said, "What do you think of Luton?" to the Vicarage Road end, which was the home end at the time. And it's a wonderful thing hearing 6,000 people all point at you and shout the word shit. I like that very much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very fair observation. I have no get out of jail free on that one.
Did we do dizzy kicks for a while, where you put your head on the broom and then you sort of go round and round and round? You spin round and round and you go and try and take a shot. I seem to remember that being a thing as well. But yeah, I mean, I think the halftime entertainment has very much gone out of the match day experience at Vicarage Road. Carl, when you go away, what are you seeing when you go away?
I like the sound of this. Sorry, for half time.
The bar.
We need two fans racing around the pitch before taking a strike on goal. What's the worst that can happen? Well, I think we'll probably see the paramedics make sure they're on hand. That would be nice.
Yeah,
that would
it's
be
all health and safety now, isn't it? It ruins everything.
Very interestingly, Carl Wilson has declared that he's 52. Well done, Carl. Welcome to the club. Yeah, that's it. We're all that old that we start telling people how old we are.
So, Carlos, you're saying when you go away, the only thing you see is the bar at halftime. You've not, bothered to see what other teams do entertainment-wise during halftime.
No, I don't care. No,
you don't care. Okay, well, that's fair enough. I mean, that's fair enough.
Halftime's done. Move on.
Exactly. Well, we're staying on this theme slightly. Gary says, which current Watford player would you put your mortgage on to win the Mr. Q halftime challenge?
Oh, I mentioned that.
Which former player would you also back? And those you definitely wouldn't want anywhere near it.
That's a very extensive list. I can tell you straight away. Current Imran Loser, former and who knows, maybe present very soon, Ashley Young. I think he could put it on. The one I would want nowhere near it, and there would be no reckless endangerment unless you were right at the back of the rookery, would be Mr. Andre Gray. I think we all remember that shot he took at Kings Langley, which we've heard it's just landed. Excellent. There we are.
And that was 2 seasons ago. Carlos, what are you thinking? What current player you'd want to have a go? Former player, one you'd like?
Definitely Imran Loser. Gerard Delafeu, former player, and not going anywhere near it, Dominic Foley.
Oh, the lovely Dominic Foley, who signed you an autograph to Carol.
Carol, yes. I've forgiven him, though.
Dear Carol. I mean, it does take our penalties. I mean, Tom Deli Bashiru has taken a few, has he not? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're going to need to put this in the top right. He tends to roll it one side and he's quite cool and calm with it. You need somebody who can place the ball to get to the £500 rather than the £100. Yeah. Mablethorpe Dart says nowhere near it. Trevor Senior. Trust me, it would be up there on the floor. Trevor Senior would try to fucking head it. We know that, and it'd still go bloody wide. Never mind.
I was a ball boy during Trevor Senior's time at Watford, and he made me go in goal once in front of the Vicarage Road end, which was really unkind because we were told don't get your ball boy kit dirty, so I couldn't dive for any shots or anything, and he still managed to put 3 or 4 over the bar. I think old ex-players, Jono, I think I'd like to be having a go at it. And nowhere near. Well, you've already nicked, the ones that I would go for. So Daniel Jebison, because he wouldn't be troubling anything, would he? I don't think he probably wouldn't even be troubling the box.
Yeah, he wouldn't get as far as a corner flag. We all remember Norwich. Ryan Cripps says, evening, guys. Lovely to listen always. Thank you very much. Thought I'd share my crazy bet with the Cripsies and my locals. If we win the division this approaching season, I'm wearing Speedos to celebrate. Now, I'm presuming he means only Speedos, which obviously doesn't enhance it, but otherwise it'd be just, whatever. But, that's an interesting
one. I have questions. Are you only wearing it at the game? Are you wearing them for a week to work? We need to know. We need to know where you're wearing these Speedos, and we need photographic evidence as well, should you win. So Jason, on that last question there, sorry, just to round this off, he's put Imran, Abdi, and Bio, of course. Yes, how can we forget?
Great shout.
Yeah, how can we forget him? There's a question here. Now Bio has departed, so here we go. There you go. That's a nice little segue. Right. Now Bio has departed. Apart from Sissoko, who will be Podcast Justin's pantomime villain this season? Well, it remains to be seen, doesn't it? We have to have a little look and see.
We will find out.
You'll know soon enough, because there will be memes and there will be, discussions. Although Gary suspects it might be Tom Ince, and Dunstable Hornet has suggested Kayembe. That's not a bad shout, actually.
Kayembe's a shout,
yeah. I mean, this is for all the wrong reasons that we're sort of singling him out. Do you want to answer that one? Who's going to be your pantomime villain, or you like me waiting to see exactly how things go?
Yeah, I'm going to give it. Let's get till Christmas before I decide.
Christmas, okay. I can normally spot them within 30 minutes. Anyway, Peter, you don't have pantomime villains, do you? You tend to be
so grumpy. It's unbelievable.
I'm
going to go for rather than an individual player. I'm going to go for two positions. I think our fullbacks, Caleb Wiley, Mark Boller, and Gakia and Ryan Andrews. I think though somebody from there will be the person who will be unfairly maligned, probably by me. Just saying. Who knows?
Fair enough. So here's one. Who would you say had the best ever moustache in Watford history? There you go.
Tony Coton.
That is an obvious answer. Although Steve Sherwood also had a fairly nice moustache.
Sherwood.
Steve Sims. That was a good one. Steve Sims. Look him up. If you've never seen Steve Sims' moustache. Ian Bolton's was quite good.
Ian Bolton's was coiffed. It was definitely well looked after. I get the feeling that had Ian Bolton lived in like the 1910s, he would have had a bit of a Hercule Poirot thing going on.
Absolutely would. He would, yeah.
I think he could have done that. And frankly, I think it would have only enhanced his already excellent passing range. For no apparent reason. I think Sam Ellis was most excellent, who signed on the same day as Ian Bolton. But he was more known for his sideburns and what have you. Oh, Jason, Paul Wilkinson, what a shout. Tony Coton and him going out, people were looking for mirrors. Yeah, definitely. Paul Wilkinson getting a lot of stuff. Oh, look, what Carl Wilson said. He's also said, let's face it, Paul Wilkinson's one of his greatest playing partners. Gary Penrice. Very good.
Gary Penrice. What happened to moustaches? They sort of fell out of fashion, didn't they? It's come back a little bit now. Men are just wearing moustaches. But what is that point in the morning when you're sort of having a shave and you go, no, I'll leave that bit. Like I can talk about shaving. But have you ever just sported a moustache on its own, either of you? Have you ever thought just a tad?
No, it's not good. No, my cranium is too big for a moustache. And
how does that affect?
I think it draws attention to itself. Wherever you've got a beard, it's just it's better. But just a little bit of face fungus on the top lip is not for me. And there's so many people in history that had moustaches, and I look through them and I go, I don't want to be associated. I know exactly. I'm playing this well. I don't want to be associated.
Let's leave it.
There we are.
Richard Herring, everybody might know him of the Richard Herring Leicester Theatre podcast. He wrote a book where he basically gave himself a Hitler moustache and walked around.
He was trying to bring it back. I think they're called toothbrush moustaches rather than what you just described it as. But I
think it's Hitler moustache. Let's be honest. In 1920, the excellent description would have been toothbrush. Post 1945, I would suggest Hitler is probably the description.
That's probably what started the demise of them. Yeah,
maybe. Have you ever sported a full beard or just a moustache, Peter, or have you sort of experimented facially?
Experimented facially. Well, I've tried to, but the missus has turned me down every time. So. No, in terms of that, no, never attached. Who knows? I tell you what, I'm going to do. I'm going to match Ryan Cripps's bet, but not with the Speedos. Nobody needs to see that. But if we win the league, look up backtracking in the dictionary. There's a big picture of me going, no, don't mean that. No, I will sport a moustache for a week. No, let's go for a month. Should we get it? Yeah, absolutely.
If Ryan's team wins, is that what you're doing? If his team wins, you're going to do this?
Yeah. If we win
the
league, then I will go.
No. Can we iron this out? If we get promoted, you have to have a moustache.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. You've given yourself a little window of three spaces in a play, or 2 spaces in a play.
That's a fair bet. Come on, that is a fair bet. Promotion, you have to grow a face fungus on your top lip.
Okay. Providing you're going to match me.
Oh, I ain't doing it. If anyone's seen my chin, you'll know why I've got a beard.
Okay, okay. If we get promoted, just a moustache for a month.
Just you and I, moustache for a month. Excellent. There we go.
This is fantastic.
Like to see that. Ski boy from Romania was asking earlier on, are we signing any Romanians? Not to our knowledge.
No.
But of course, I mean, I'm fairly sure, wasn't it? I mean, the best Romanian ever, surely, was Kjerrumgaard, wasn't it? Because he was part Scottish, part Romanian, part Nigerian. I mean, he basically qualified for the whole of the world, roughly speaking. He says, good luck for the season. Great to see new signings being made, new kit being worn in Targu Mures by my son. Look at that. A bit of excellent representation. I think we might need to get people wherever they're going on holiday to send us pictures of them in kits, or indeed living in exotic locales such as Romania. And I think we should basically get a globe together and make sure that we can tick off the entire world as Watford supporting, as most world countries should be.
Very good. Just to briefly return back to the bet that you two gentlemen have just given, you have to diet ginger. Okay, that could be quite
not a chance.
Yeah.
I draw the line there.
Oh, we've drawn the line. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Grey, so whatever.
Yeah.
If Watford did a YouTube video titled "The Potso Years" and it had a bloopers part on it, what on-field moments would make its top 5?
Oh, on-field.
Yeah, that's a little bit harder because there's many things.
Off-field would be many.
It's a 2-hour separate DVD, isn't it? The off-field stuff.
FA Cup final, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be one. That could be 6, actually, couldn't it? Actually, the FA Cup final.
Any 5 games against Manchester City. I mean, let's face it, they were our bête noire. We could never get it over them in any way, shape, or form.
Roy Hodgson.
On field, yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah, but where did you stop with that? Ranieri?
Yeah, well, exactly. There's quite a few. If you had to,
there's quite a large
paying. I know it's technically off field, but it is on field. Paying 18.5 million for Mr. Gray would probably be in there.
Yeah.
I would also suggest Sven Kums, but no, that never got to being on the field. Bit of satire there, everybody. Lovely. But definitely Obiolari, wandering around, not quite knowing what on earth he was doing, and being pushed around by Dinius where he should go for a corner. He looked a competition winner, most certainly.
That's a little bit more off field there, Rio, but yeah, the hell or high water quote is definitely one. Greg, you missed it. I think you missed the bit where I said the Potso years, didn't I? Did I say the Potso years? Yeah, the Potso years. Greg's gone back all the way to 2002. The Luca.
It was a doozy, though.
Yeah, it was a doozy.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy's injured. The guy's injured, and then they drop him on the stretcher. It was right in front of me. That was in the rookery, and that was very funny, very, very funny. What's this one? What's Rio put here? Huddersfield at home, 22. Oh, was that the one where Daniel Bachmann got sent off and we had to put what's his name in goal? It was, wasn't it?
I think so.
What's that guy's name now? Oh, I can't even remember.
Hamza Chowdhury?
Yeah, it was that forgettable. Hamza Chowdhury, there's the chap. Yeah, that was definitely a blooper reel. That was a whole thing of bad things. Is Loser staying? We assume so because he's still here. Jim, we assume he's staying. Oh, Carl is indicating. Were you indicating that he might not be, or?
No. I was agreeing.
No.
I was agreeing.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I was looking away when he did that. Pierre Issa was obviously the guy that fell off the stretcher. That's absolutely. Now here we go. While we're still on the same subject here, the infamous Sissoko program notes and fireworks before the Norwich game.
Brilliant.
Insert Sissoko signature here. Everybody, we're going for it, and we lose 3-0. Who could forget that? That was
that's a good one.
Disaster piece. Absolutely. I think we're almost at the end of questions. I'm sort of going to have another quick look through here to see if I've missed any that I think. What's your opinion on how long the new man will last? This is Colin Hosier, hosepipe _1. What's your opinion on how long the new man will last? I really would like to see him last a couple of seasons, but my heart says March, but head says I think the October international break.
He signed a 12-month contract. That for me says enough of what the plans are. Good or bad season. I would say he'll be here for most of the season. Well, the season, unless it's we're down towards the bottom. But apart from that, I think he'll be here all year, whether we get promoted or not. And I've got a mustache.
Yes, well, I really hope. I'm really actually. I'm going to forget this. That's the only thing. Can people remind me of this come May if we're riding in the top 3?
Annoyingly, it'll be on YouTube.
Yeah, but I've got to remember to watch this before anything like that. Yeah, I mean, like you say, he's not going to last 2 seasons if we go up. You wouldn't have thought, because well, let's see. We don't know what he's going to do yet, do we? That's the thing.
Look at why. Hold on, hang on. Look at why we are signing him. And I said this the other week. We're signing him to do the job that he has done, which is he's got promoted from a second tier of, yes, different countries, Mexico, Brazil, and indeed Uruguay, from the second tier to the top tier. It's his party piece, and it's what he's got to do here. If he does it, then we know that what Pozzo has looked at previously is what got me here isn't necessarily going to keep me here. Out of the 2 managers who have been promoted, which were Jokanovic, that we'll pay you, but an amount you're not going to accept. So you go away, and we bring in Kiko Sanchez Flores, who was already ready to bring him in for his first stint. And of course, there was, as we mentioned the other day, Cisco got 7 games and then he was out because that was it. We cannot. This is all about him trying to be successful. I hope Petzolano is massively successful. I hope he goes on to be the Uruguayan Graham Taylor for the club. Brilliant. That would be fantastic. But at this moment in time, you cannot build a relationship, with the club, with Petzolano. He is here to do a job, and I just don't see that he would be retained by the Pozzos thereafter, or by Gino Pozzo, because he'd be thinking, what's now going to keep me up? What's going to keep me here so that the bankroll keeps coming in, and the club become worth more, exactly as Carlos said at the start, and then we get that in. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, we'll see. I might throw one out of my own here. Now we do this. We this question is something that we normally would do where there's a spreadsheet kept, and we would do it with opposition views and that kind of thing. But I'm going to do it now, and then we can always incorporate our answers into this another day. Carlos, I'm going to start with you. The 25-26 championship top 3 and bottom 3.
Oh God, we did this. I did this to you. Why are you doing it to me?
And that is why I am playing the reverse card from Uno on this occasion.
Southampton, Ipswich, and Coventry in the playoffs. Bottom, Oxford. Oh God, all the bottom's hard, isn't it? Oxford, Swansea. Going to throw one in.
Ooh,
and
nice.
And who else came up? Birmingham. Who was the third team that came up? No, Birmingham, and who was the other one? I can't bloody remember now. Yes, you can keep saying Wrexham, but I know them.
Oh,
Wrexham,
sorry.
Birmingham,
and sorry.
Birmingham, Charlton, and Wrexham came up.
Oh, Charlton. I'll have Charlton. I'll have Charlton. Yeah, Charlton as well.
Okay. Do you want to have a look at that, Peter?
Yeah, I'm going to say Charlton will finish bottom, simply due to the fact that the detestable Nathan Jones is there, and I can't say anything nice about him. I think Hull City are going to struggle. They've got massive problems, and as much as we like Ant from Hull and back, I'm going to put Hull bottom but 1. For fun, I'm tempted to go Wrexham, but I can't.
That's why I went Swansea for fun.
I think Blackburn Rovers. Are just they're in freefall. The Venkies have done enough to keep them sort of running for this long, but they've had all sorts of problems. Who's going to win it? I would suggest Ipswich. I think what's his name? Kieran Chops there is pretty good, unless he gets taken away from somebody else. I think Coventry were the team under Lampard. I thought he did a fine job, so I'll put them in second for me. And I'm going to put Watford into third on the basis.
I love it.
On the basis of positivity, not because I think it'll happen, but if it does, then I'll look clever when we are coming back to this particular website, this particular thing, in order to find the thing about the moustache. I'll look like I've been clever, which never happens.
We haven't mentioned Leicester in that, have we? I think Leicester.
No, they've got problems in there.
The arse has fallen out of it.
Yeah, there's possible points deductions and all sorts happening there, but I think they'll have enough to certainly stay in the division, but we'll see.
Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, they've got problems. They've got no players, have they?
Oh, that's a good shout.
That's a good shout. Yeah, I didn't think about them. So yeah, they'll be in the mix definitely.
And I went for West Brom doing well last season, and they didn't do that well. I mean, they're one of those teams that can either be really good or really poor. West Brom.
I think West Brom might do all right as well. There's a few Middlesbrough. I don't think will do very well because I think the appointment of that manager is not going to benefit them any more than it did with Michael Carrick. There's a few teams in there that could have a decent. Norwich, they'll go again. I think.
We always match Norwich. So whatever Norwich do, we tend to do, and that's happened for about the last 4 or 5 seasons, isn't it? Like one position apart or something. So
I think that's probably why they're trying to sign the same player as us.
That could be what that is. Yeah. I had a very brief chat with Richard Honey recently, and he reckons QPR are doing all right, or going to do all right this season, which for him is unheard of. He's like, no, I think we might be all right. That remains to be seen, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. QPR, they're a team that could turn it on and be involved. It's a weird one. Birmingham coming up. I think they could be up there. Coventry, as Pete mentioned.
Bristol City were close last year.
I think the bottom might fall out of Bristol City this season. I don't think they'll be the same side as they were last year.
Shall we see what some of our viewers are saying on this? AG.
Viewers, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, apparently there's 1,400 and something at the moment. AG says Sheffield Wednesday, Hull, and one of Charlton, Pompey, or Oxford. That's
you have to admire the ability of a man here to turn around and go, I know you're asking for 3, but I'm going to give you 5. Well done.
Yeah,
why not? That's fine.
Why didn't we
Rio, who predicts Watford to be somewhere between, I think he said 6th and 18th or something when I spoke to him. Sheffield Wednesday and Hull both in financial trouble, so could be down there. I think that's absolutely right. I mean, whilst we're busy on podcasts going, look at what we've done in the transfer market, there's other teams that just aren't going to be able to do much of that. And, there's a lot of that going on there. Jason says Watford, Sheffield United, Ipswich. Watford now. What order? I mean, Watford to win? Come on, Jason.
Sheffield United have got to go again with a new manager as well. So that's going to be interesting.
I'm just saying that Jason is basically performing wish fulfillment on Ryan Cripps there. Ryan Cripps could be going in and wearing Speedos. Are we? I think perhaps we should have a vote for what colour Speedos do we think we should have? I mean,
bright yellow.
Bright yellow, budgie smugglers, surely.
Yeah.
Should it not be? There you go, Ryan. There you go. That's democracy. Excellent. Good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Jason also seems to think that Derby, Oxford, and Charlton will go down. I mean, I'd very much like to see Charlton go down. Not because I don't like Charlton, but Nathan Jones.
Derby look like they're doing all right in the transfer market, though. I think they might be all right. And John Eustace is there as well, so they might be all right.
Jason is asking for pink Speedos. Are we going for pink? We going for pink? It's either got to be pink. Pink. I like pink. That's good. Carry on.
Yeah. What else have we got here? Jim Marshall. Now, I mean, every time I hear that name, I think about amplifiers. Ipswich, Coventry, and Sheffield United. So there's a lot of love for Ipswich and Coventry. You mentioned them, Carl. Coventry seem to always be kind of the bridesmaid and never the bride. So maybe under Frankie Lamps they can actually do something this season. What's this? What's Jason saying here?
He was just saying,
buying old knackered pros.
They are old. They are from Luton. But I don't know. With John Eustace, I think there'll be an organised side. And as we've just said, there's plenty of sides next season that have got financial problems and all sorts. So
is that where Carlton Morris has gone? Maybe.
Yeah.
So we've got to see him again next season.
Yeah, we've got to see him twice. Bless him.
Yeah, nice.
Unlike
Nice.
Luton, the same.
Yeah. Yeah, and just a reminder, everybody, Luton are in the 3rd tier. I think we're almost at the end of this now. We've been running for an hour and a half, and I think it's time to wrap up. So,
yeah, because I haven't eaten yet, and my stomach's going mental.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll be back soon. And obviously, the season starts fairly soon. Carlos, you're going to Leyton Orient. I haven't decided if I'm doing that yet. There's a pre-season
Leyton Orient.
behind closed
Charlton
doors.
Tickets today.
Oh, yes. And I've got my. Have you got your League Cup tickets yet against Norwich?
I haven't. I'm going to leave that right to the last minute.
Okay. I have mine. Thank you, Carl Campion, for sorting that. And also, there's the Deportivo game at home, isn't there? Which I haven't bought a ticket for yet, but I will probably go to that. So, I mean, this is probably us now until the beginning of the season, right? When we start doing opposition days. Go on, Pete.
Who knows? Something strange happen. We might sign Ashley Young. We might come on here. Who knows? We might hit like gorillas in the night and fade away with only the glimmer of a signature of Luca Kjerrumgaard for fun. There you go. Look at that. How the fuck is that saying that? I'm looking forward to meet. It's going to be going great. I'm going to meet all the fans, and there's going to be me walking up going, "Your signature, young man, is a disgrace."
Disgrace, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you tried signing your name recently, your signature, but I've completely forgotten how to do it because now it's all chip and pin and, all that, and, Apple Pay and all that sort of stuff. When you come to something and they go, how do I do this again? I can't remember. It's one of those things. Anyway, right, let's finish off there. Thank you very much for watching. And if you're listening to the podcast, thank you very much for listening. We will be back very soon. You horns.
You horns.
You horns.
Do not scratch your eyes.